I am in love with this community of women who are coming together tonight to stand up, to take back our rights, and to expand our sisterhood to who? To who? To include tonight, of course, here with Win with Black Women, Sisters Lead, Sisters Vote, and Red, White, and Blue, Vice President Kamala Harris. Joe Taka, are you here with me tonight?
I am so excited. Katie, I'm just overjoyed. There's so many amazing women from all over the country. I can see it in the chat. I see Chicago, Greensboro, North Carolina, Nashville, Tennessee, Ohio's in the house, Virginia's in the house. So many amazing women from across the country. And I am so excited for us to gather because I know one thing: when sisters unite, there is no stopping the power of women.
I think that was a call out to the name of this event, Joe Taka. I caught that there. This tonight is about sisters uniting to take back our rights, which I could say all day and sing all morning. And so look, let's tell a little bit about how this all happened. I am so thrilled that, so I'm the founder of Red, Wine, and Blue. Maybe we just introduce ourselves. I feel like we're already friends with everyone on this Zoom, but we'll start there. My name's Katie Paris. I'm the founder of Red, Wine, and Blue, which is a community of about 500,000 women all across the country who are coming together because we've had enough of extremism trying to take over our democracy. And we want to do something about it in our backyards all across this country. So we are providing this welcoming on-ramp and pathway for you to get involved and find a way to be involved in politics and civic life wherever you live in the way that works for you. We are supporting your organizing. We believe in your voice. So you can imagine how I felt when Janice Robinson, who is one of our state directors at Red, Wine, and Blue, told me about this amazing organization that she had become involved in. It was called Win with Black Women. I was like, you have me there. I mean, tell me more, but you already got me, you know. But and so from there, I got to meet Holly Holiday and you now, Joe Taka. And all right, so now you tell the people more who are learning just now tonight about Win with Black Women and your sister organization, Sisters Lead, Sister Vote.
Absolutely. Thank you, Katie. And welcome again, everyone. And Janice, it's always so great to see you. I think you are just a living example of the power of women who just cross into so many organizations that are doing work every single day in this country to help take back our rights and to help secure our democracy. And it's always so good to be with you, my sister. My name is Joe Taka Edie. I'm the founder and convener of #Win with Black Women. We are an intergenerational network of Black women who come together in our individual capacities around 3 goals. Number 1, making sure that we speak out against racism and sexism as it is hurled at Black women anywhere, anytime. Number 2, working in our personal capacities to elect Black women to office up and down the ballot. And we are just so proud of the work that we did to support so many of our sister organizations in our work that helped to lead to this dynamic, historic election in 2020, which led to our dynamic and amazing Madam Vice President, who we're so excited to be joined by tonight. And number 3, we work particularly in coalition with Black women-led organizations to lift up and empower the agenda and the image of Black women. That is the work that we do every single day. And we were deeply inspired 3 years ago to start because of our Madam Vice President. And
she's here, Joe Taka. So let's let Janice introduce her and let's get to it. Thank you so much.
Bring her on, Janice.
Oh, wow. What an exciting night. It is such an honor to introduce Vice President Harris tonight. And I was so inspired by her election as the highest elected woman to office and the highest elected Black woman to office. And, you know, as the second most powerful Black woman in the world, Vice President Harris could be spending her time tonight working on any of the important issues in her portfolio, you know, such as she's done in meeting with over 100 world leaders, traveling to 18 countries to strengthen our alliances and partnerships, you know, traveling to communities, reeling from mass shootings, or meeting with the Tennessee lawmakers who were expelled for standing up, for demanding action on gun violence. But even in all of this, I thought about the fact that, Vice President Harris is just like each and every one of us women on this call tonight. As she is called a mamala by her family, she too is fighting alongside each of us as women, fighting for our rights to make our own reproductive choices, fighting alongside of us to be seen in Black history, fighting for our rights to have children, to be taught in good public schools, fighting to have our kids not be discriminated against, our LGBTQ kids not be discriminated against, fighting to have our rights to the ballot box. It is my honor to welcome Vice President Harris to our sisterhood. So, Vice President Harris, welcome, and thank you so much for joining us tonight.
We're so grateful that she's able to juggle it all on the phone tonight. I think she's running between one thing or next. Can you hear us?
I'm here.
Yeah.
I'm here. Can you hear me? Oh, we've come a long way with technology. Let me just start by saying I'm so happy that this convening is happening this evening and continues to happen. Truly, when sisters unite, there's nothing that gets in our way. And there's so much worth fighting for. I think about this moment with all the challenges in our country and around the world. And I think it's so important to remember that when we fight, it's our nature to fight for something. We don't fight against, we fight for. And so that's where we are right now. So Janice, first of all, I want to thank you for that beautiful introduction. I'm very honored to be with everyone. Joteka, Katie, everybody, the Sisters Lead Sister Vote Sisters, Red, White, and Blue Sisters, Win with Black Women Sisters. I thank you all for the organizing that you've been doing and the sacrifice that you're making. Everybody on this call could be doing something else with your time. And to be here convening and to show the power of the collective is so important. There are so many times in our lives for every one of us where, circumstances may want us to feel alone and powerless. And organizing like everyone is doing tonight is a reminder that none of us is alone. We are all together. So the election is 4 days out. And on this call, we have business leaders, faith leaders, labor leaders, community leaders, young leaders, all united in the fight for freedom, justice, and equal opportunity. And I have seen firsthand the power of the coalitions that have already been built by the women on this call. I just think back to the height of the pandemic. You were talking about that, Janice, Joteka, you were talking about 2020. Think about it, in the midst of an unbelievable, historic in proportion, loss of life, this global pandemic, that the people on this call organized and energized and mobilized, knowing we could not be defeated and that we must stay active if we are to get through anything and get to the next place. And it is because of you that Joe Biden is President of the United States and I am Vice President of the United States. And so I start by saying thank you for what you have already done. And over the 3 years, because of that work and because we knew what we were standing for and fighting for, we've made incredible progress. Before we took office, for example, small businesses across our nation were struggling, but building on the work that I've actually been doing for years, President Biden and I have invested more than $12 billion in community lenders, which are the community banks that help entrepreneurs in minority communities, in underserved communities have access to capital to start and to grow a business. And as a result, we have seen more small businesses created in our first 2 years in office than any 2 years in recent history. Before we took office, so many of our seniors could not afford the medicine they needed to survive. If we were all together in person, I'd say, raise your hand if you have anybody in your family, anyone you know who has diabetes. And most of the hands would go up, including mine. Well, because we know that Black Americans are 60% more likely to have diabetes, Latinos are 70% more likely, and many cannot afford, before we came in office, the insulin a doctor prescribed to help them live. They could not afford it and had to make an awful decision about whether they would either fill their prescription or be able to pay their rent. So when we took office, because of your support and what we knew needed to be done, we have now capped the cost of insulin for our seniors at $35 a month. Because, of course, no senior should have to, in those late years of their life, live without the dignity they so rightly have earned and deserved. Before we took office, we all remember from Flint to all kinds of places around our country where parents and grandparents were crying out about the harm of lead pipes and the toxic water that was coming out, how it was impacting our babies in terms of their health and their learning abilities. And we then came in office and said, we need to take this and take it seriously, and we need to have a public effort to pay to get those lead pipes out of the places and the homes of America, and we are on track to do that. Before we took office, our nation ignored the crisis of maternal mortality. Many of you have worked with me personally on this issue. You know, it's something I care deeply about. I worked on it in the Senate and even before. Why? Well, because we know Black women are 3 times as likely to die in connection with childbirth as other women. And so as Vice President, I elevated the maternal health issue so it would be a national priority for the first time, put it on the stage of the White House to say we need to understand that in America, it is not acceptable that we have one of the highest rates of maternal mortality of any so-called developed nation in the world. The other thing that we did, and again, with a lot of the sisters who are on this call supporting this work and doing it on the ground, we said it is not right that women on Medicaid only get 2 months of postpartum coverage. And we have then, when I started, there were only 3 states that extended it to 12 months, and I called them out. And I said, every state needs to do this. And now we have over 30 states that have extended Medicaid coverage for postpartum care from 2 months to 12 months. That is because of the work of everyone on this call advocating and supporting this kind of approach. We went from 3 states to 38 states, and we got more to do. Finally, before we took office, there had never been a Black woman on the United States Supreme Court. But now, because of your support, her name is Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson. So there we are, as some of the things that have accomplished, and we've been able to accomplish together, because what we know is that elections matter. Mm-hmm. And it is so important that the people who care about the issues and the issues that we have discussed just tonight, that they know they really can make a difference, that the one of the most significant ways you can actually determine what happens in the future of our country is to vote. And so with your support, we have done this work, but we have more to do. Because when I look at where we are, and the ladies who introduced me and talked before me have talked about this, listen, I'm traveling our country, and I will tell you, I am witnessing, like us all, a full-on attack on many of our most hard-fought, hard-won freedoms. In states across our nation, extremists, so-called leaders, have been attacking the freedom to vote. They passed laws to ban drop boxes, to limit early voting, laws that make it illegal to simply give somebody food and water when they stand in line for hours to cast their ballot. By the way, the hypocrisy is overwhelming. You know, what happened to love thy neighbor? Mm-hmm. But here we are, dealing with these kinds of battles. The highest court in our land, the Court of Thurgood, the Court of RBG, just took a constitutional right that had been recognized from the people of America, from the women of America. And I think we all know one does not have to abandon their faith or deeply held beliefs to agree the government should not be telling her what to do with her body. If she chooses, she will consult with, pray with her pastor, her priest, her rabbi. But the government should not be in her business telling her what to do. We have seen in states across our nation, these extremists, so-called leaders, pass book bans in this year of our Lord, 2023, and truly trying to prevent our children from learning our true history. All the while, these same extremists, so many of them, refuse to pass reasonable gun safety laws to keep our communities safe. Many of you know I've been doing a college tour with our young leaders. And every time, and I've been to so many of our HBCUs, to community colleges, and every time, and I've now interacted with over 10,000 students, I'll ask the audience of students, raise your hand. if at any time between kindergarten and 12th grade, now they're in college now, if any time between kindergarten and 12th grade, you had to have an active shooter drill, and the majority of these young people raised their hand, it is bone chilling to see that. And to know what our children who should be in class, just being nurtured, their brains being stimulated to achieve their God-given potential, and so many of them who are sitting in class, and part of them just in fear that there may be a gunman that breaks through the door of their classroom. So all that to say, there's a lot at stake right now, and we have the ability, when we organize, and we know this and history has proven it, we have the ability to make a difference. And so in this moment, I say to all of the sisters on the call, your leadership is more essential than ever before. So Election Day is Tuesday, November 7th, which is in 4 days. And we have Democratic candidates who are ready to fight for our freedoms, candidates for governor, state legislator, and mayor. And we need your help to spread the word about a few critical elections. And I'm just going to mention a few before I let you go. One, Virginia. So Virginia, the state of Virginia, the Commonwealth of Virginia, is the last state in the South, without an abortion ban. Mm-hmm. And by the way, you should know that when I last looked at the numbers, the states with some of the highest rates of maternal mortality are also the states with abortion bans. Okay, so again, look at the hypocrisy in terms of what kinds of policy people are actually pushing and for whom. So for Virginia, Governor Youngkin said he would happily, I'm quoting, happily and gleefully, end quote, sign an abortion ban that comes to his desk. To protect reproductive freedom, we must hold the Virginia Senate and flip the House of Delegates in Virginia. So Virginia is a very important race. Their entire House of Delegates and Senate is up for election. Reproductive freedom is also on the ballot in Ohio. So on Tuesday, the voters in Ohio will have a chance to basically put reproductive rights in their state constitution, which means that it would be foolproof in terms of saying that it is up to her to make that decision and not the state telling her, and not those state legislators telling her what to do. In Mississippi, voters will have a chance to elect the first Democratic governor in 2 decades. In Philadelphia, we must elect Sherelle Parker, which will be Philly's first Black woman mayor ever. The president and I were so proud to endorse her. Let's see her through and ensure that Sherelle Parker will be Mayor Parker in 5 days, or mayor-elect. And we have 4 days then to get out the word and get out the vote, and that means what you do will matter, as it always does. So please talk to your family, text your friends, activate your network, and remind folks what is at stake in this fight. And just let's remember that we are fighting for something, and the strength of our nation has always relied, whether people don't want to tell true history or not, relied on folks like the women on this call to believe in what is possible and fight for us to get there. And we know that when we fight, we win. With that, I thank everybody. Please take care of yourself. And thank you again for everything.
Madam Vice President, thank you so much for taking this time to be with us tonight, and knowing you have our back and that you are out there being such an inspirational voice for freedom. It puts wind in our sails. We're so grateful for your time tonight. All right. So Joteka, Holly, Janice. I mean, that was cool.
That was pretty freaking cool.
I'm always on fire every time I hear our Madam Vice President speak. I think she really just makes it very clear the choice that we have before us, and that it's also very clear all of the great work that has been led by this administration and led by her office, just the dynamic work that is literally touching lives. I think we all if we just asked to go to the chat, share in the chat if there's someone who's been impacted by all of the great work of this administration, if you know someone who has benefited from the work on maternal health, if you know someone who now has, not having to struggle to pay for their insulin, or if you know someone who is benefiting from the American connectivity program and getting reduced rates for their internet, there's just so many. And of course, all of us, the vice president outlined in a global pandemic, the fact that we are all outside and moving, that is a testament to the leadership of this administration and our vice president.
And the best part is that now we can do something.
Hey,
that was the final goal.
Wine in hand.
Listen,
No
I didn't even get a chance to open my bottle yet. I had it ready. I'm not ready. But listen, I will take a minute to open the bottle, and I hope some of you who are joining us will. While we go to our training, because look, the vice president was inspirational, but what did she say? She said she cannot do it by herself.
That's right.
She said, in order for this to be a reality, in order for this to be our reality, we need y'all to do some stuff. And we need you to do some stuff tonight and over the weekend and leading up into this election, which is Tuesday.
Yes.
We know that there are elections happening in states, as the vice president mentioned, but there are local elections happening too. And because of the Dobbs decision, we know that that means that reproductive rights and many of our freedoms that we care about and have, I frankly have grown accustomed to being able to have some rights in this country. I like to keep them around for a little bit. And so we want to make sure if we can get each and every person on this call to just do one thing, it's going to make a huge difference. So can we introduce the Julies and Chantel so we can tell folks how to get engaged?
I need some troublemakers and clap back up in here.
Yeah.
So we take back our rights.
Let's do it.
I'm
we
so
love a
fired
good
up.
clap back.
We got our marching orders from the vice president. It is time to get to work and do what we do best. She said that everything they've accomplished has had so much to do with us. So now it's about us. Now it's about you. We are going to do our part. All right, Julie's troublemakers, take over.
That was just amazing. We have just a few days left now to impact our elections and get everybody we know out to vote. And we need you to join on Rally and reach our voters. And I'm going to do a very special, really fast plea. In 1984, my mother was one of those Black women that the vice president talked about who died after having a baby. So, and it was amazing to be on that call. I had to get myself together to even be able to do this. But the opposition in all of our states are trying to every dirty trick in the book, from ads with flat out lies, trying to scare people, to scrubbing their social media to hide their extreme views, and pretending to be moderates. We defeat these tactics by shining a light on it. And that means that we need to be talking to everybody we know and giving them the information that they need to be informed voters.
Okay, I'm trying to get it together, guys, because I was a little teary with this. So we know that most of you all are already out there, that you guys are talking to your friends and rallying your squad. But you guys, we are so close to the election. So we need to get this done right now. So no time to wait. You are talking to your friends. I don't care if it's on text. I don't care if it's on social media, wherever you're talking to them. We need to know, who are you talking to? Because we need to show our impact. We need to be able to show the opposition that you came for us, but we said no, and we reached out and we got our friends to the polls. So let's make those conversations you're having count, and let's keep having those conversations right up to Election Day. And we want you to be part of this by joining our online hub rally, because this is how we know which voters we're reaching, and we know that we can get you information to share out that's going to be super, super effective. This is how we show our impact.
So don't stop with any conversations that you have already had. You need to keep reaching out, because every voter that you turn out matters. These local and state races are often won by just a handful of votes. And people often don't vote because they don't know the candidates. So make your friends feel like they're informed voters, and they'll turn out. And that could absolutely be the difference.
Okay, I want everyone now to pull out their phone. If you're on your phone, just swipe up and find a new screen. You guys need to join us, because there are 1,000 people on this call. If we all start reaching out to even like 12 friends, you guys, that is so many voters we can reach. So pull out your phone, join us on Rally. You can either text Rally to 59868, or you can scan this QR code. My team is also dropping links in the chat to do this. We're going to really quickly run you through it to show you it's so easy. And then I want you to think through, who have you already talked to? Because I know you were talking to friends. And think of that list, and you're going to put them into Rally to show that you already reached out to them. And then you're going to make a list of people that you can still reach out to. And you're going to get into Rally, and we're going to give you links and things that you can share out. And then let us know who you're talking to so we can show our impact after the election.
All right, now let's get started. So the very first thing you need to do is click the state where you live or where you have the most friends, and let's get your account set up. So you're going to click Join Campaign, and you're going to sign in if you already have an account, or sign up to create one. You're going to enter your email, and you're going to be sent a magic link. There are no passwords. I know that was my favorite part of this. Next slide, please.
Okay, this is the really easy part. And I want to preface this, I forgot to say at the top, you guys, we have staff in Ohio, Michigan, North Carolina, Pennsylvania, and Virginia. That is where we are running this program. If you have friends in those states, then go ahead and do this as well. But that is where we are running our Rally Your Squad program. So once you get into Rally and you log in, you're going to set up a profile. It's really easy, just like you do all the time, your name, where you live. And then you're going to get to match yourself to the voter file. So if you don't see yourself there, then you need to go check your voter registration. You know, people have been purging. But if you don't see yourself, just select none of these.
So then you're going to start adding the people that you're going to contact. You're going to see Build Your Network. Click Add Contacts. And right now, have somebody in mind. For now, think about your bestie, your spouse, or an adult child. And then click Add Connect, and you can enter them directly. If you want some help brainstorming who to add, click Brainstorm, and that will give you categories that you can walk through.
Okay, this is really cool. I love how Rally helps you kind of think through with this brainstorm. One thing I want you to know is once you're putting your friends in here, you are not asking, we are not getting their phone number. We are not getting their email. We are not reaching out to them. That defeats the whole point. We want you to reach out to them because you can actually influence your friends. Your friends trust you. Your friends believe in you. So you are going to enter enough information to match them to the voter file, though, which means their legal name, their city, and their age range. You enter that. You're going to get a list of people who match that. You match them to the voter file. If they're not there, then click none of these. And please go talk to your friend about registering to vote. Oh, sorry, my dog decides to bark now. And then there's a key question. You just got to let us know on a scale of 1 to 5. Is this friend like super ready to go and do all the work? Or is this someone who needs a little persuasion? Because we're going to give you actions to take and info to send to them based on that level of 1 to 5. So you answer that key question and then you are good to go. Next slide, Drew.
So now it's time for you to start reaching out or for you to record your outreach that you've already done. You're going to see Rally Your Squad. So get started and click a friend's name to take action. One really cool feature is you get to see the voting history of your friends, and we also suppress their name from actions once they vote. So you're really, really being strategic with your outreach.
All right, you guys are out there. Please say hell yes in the chat if you're ready to rally your squad and get everybody out to vote before Election Day or on Election Day. I know you guys are going to make a difference by doing this. I want to say thanks to everybody. And I am now very excited to bring on Chantel Mullen of Sisters Lead, Sisters Vote for the Clapback. You do not want to miss this.
So we're doing Clapback Academy Sisters United Edition. What is Clapback? It is when we set the record straight. My name is Chantel Mullen, and I am with Sisters Lead, Sisters Vote. According to a 2021 online study, 74% of social media users have seen content labeled as false. Winston Churchill said, "A lie gets halfway around the world before the truth has a chance to get its pants on." Well, we learned that from the 2016 and 2020 elections. If we think about it, how much misinformation, disinformation, false content did you see about our vice president? Put a little emoji in the chat if you saw something false about the vice president when she was running with President Biden. We have a big election coming up in 2024. The presidency, the House, the Senate are in play, but more importantly, reproductive rights, voting rights, marriage equality are all on the ballot. We know from experience that mis and disinformation will be targeted at us, our friends, and our families. So we must start now. The key to combating mis and disinformation properly is to arm you with real factual information. And this is particularly effective when we do it in advance. Sisters Lead, Sisters Vote has a Clapback Academy And what we do is we recruit, train, and support and inform women leaders to proactively and responsibly inform their networks around key progressive issues. And we connect those issues with the action to vote. So what is a clapback? It's a very strong and well-observed comeback. It's either spoken or written. On social media, it shows up either as a post, a video, a comment, or a meme. And I don't know if you're following some of the White House account and the Biden-Harris rapid response team. They've gotten really good about clapping back. So I want to talk about some misinformation and disinformation. I want to give you an example. If you look around social media, you will see folks saying Biden promised to eliminate all student loans or wipe out at least $50,000 per borrower. He hasn't done it yet, and he isn't keeping his promises. You see people going on and on and on. Now, really and truly, that ain't what he said. He actually said he was only open to canceling up to $10,000 in federal student loans per borrower. He actually tweeted on March 22nd, 2020, that we should forgive a minimum of $10,000 per person. But you see this constant refrain on social media that he hasn't done anything. Well, that's not true, because I can tell you it's not true, because I sit here today with a student loan balance of 0, because I got a letter on August 19th of 2023. I got that email that said, and I quote, "The Biden-Harris administration has forgiven your student loans in full." That's $67,000 gone. And with interest, it was over $124,000. Now it's 0. Can I get some hallelujahs in the chat? Is there anybody else got a little student loan relief? Oh, I see some zeros. I see some amens. Come on, come on, come on now. So when folks start saying all of this nonsense about what he hadn't done, because see, this is how you clap back. I have my own student loan clapback. I keep some graphics on my phone so I can tell people what has he done and what did he say. So I have my little screenshot of my email that I got. I grabbed some information over from PolitiFact. And then, during the 2020 election, I actually took that Biden plan for Black America where he talked about student loans. I made my own little graphic and I whipped that out to say, this is actually what he said about student loans. And when I tell people this, and when I'm sharing the story, and when I give them the correct information, you know what they do? They start texting, they DM, they call me, they say, "Can I call you?" Because they want to figure out how they can get some help with their student loans. So we've got to get the message out. And just like I'm telling you my story, it's just this quick. You can keep a few graphics on your phone because we need you to be the messengers. Vice President Harris told us all those great things, but you know who they'll believe more than her? They will believe you. You are powerful, you are influential, and you don't have to be an expert. You just have to be accurate. And you need to have some good sources. So in the Clapback Academy, we help you to become that messenger. We want you to talk to your family, your friends, and everybody who knows you. We even want you to talk to those folks who stalk your social media who don't like you, because we know they're looking. So, you can tell a good story. It's really, really quick. And people love a great story, especially when it's about people that they know and people that they care about. But, when we tell those stories, it's not just who, what, when, and where, but we can also talk about our ideas and our perspectives. So tonight, we want you to help us clap back. First, we have a social media toolkit. And can we go to the next slide? We want you to practice becoming a trusted messenger. So we're going to send you a Get Out the Vote social media toolkit, and we're going to help you uplift local and state elections. And there'll be some of those elections that the vice president talked about earlier. You're going to get that kit in a follow-up email. Then we want you to share the good news. Y'all know we've been to church, y'all, and they talk about sharing the good news. So we want you to do some Win with Black Women stories with us. We want you to share these stories with the vice president. How have you been impacted? She's out here working. We got to tell folks, what are the results of their work? We've got some good news to tell. If you got those student loans, we need that story. Have you got a benefit from the child tax credit? We need that story. Did the vaccines help you? Did the COVID testing kits help you? You got a reproductive rights story. The vice president is out here fighting. We need to help her tell our stories because other people are telling theirs. And that's not the only story out there. So with that, I'm going to transition to the last thing we have for you. We want you to be trained to be a talker. Talkers are those people you see on the news shows. We don't need them just on CNN. We need them in your local community and on alternative media. These days, people are more likely to listen to a podcast or watch things on streaming. We need people everywhere to learn how to talk and engage and tell those stories. So sign up to be a part of our Clapback Media program and get some training on how to amplify your voice and become a talker and a messenger in your community. We're going to send this social media kit, and then we've got the sign up link for the story bank and the training. And with that, I am finished. Thank you. And I'm going to kick it over to Holly and Katie.
Thank you, Chantel. Look, we've made it easy for you. One link, all things. You can get a sample ballot. You can sign up and get the toolkit. You can share your story with the vice president. You can do the clapback. You can be part of the crew. And we even have a debate watch party next week. All things, one link, make it happen. And while you're doing that, don't forget to rally. Katie, I could not be more excited if I tried. I don't know about the rest of the folks on the call, but I'm ready to finish this bottle. Maybe not finish the bottle, but finish the glass at least.
Careful
and
now.
then I'm going to
Careful
continue
now,
to
Holly.
rally.
I know
I'm going
you're
to sign up
excited.
on the things.
Don't
I'm doing
hurt
all the
yourself.
things.
What an amazing night. I just love our organizations are just so in sync, from the wine to the getting shit done. You know, it's like coming together. There's so much the vice president said tonight that resonated, I think, on such a deep level with so many of us. I heard people in the chat just saying, yes, that's me. Thank you, because my kid has diabetes. Thank you. That was my mom, as Julie Collins said. You know, thank you. It meant so much to me to hear her, you know, speak as a woman of faith, you know, upset about these lies that we're hearing, you know, in terms of attacks on our reproductive freedom. You know, Holly, I live in Ohio, and we are voting to protect reproductive freedom here. It's on the line in Pennsylvania. It's on the line in Virginia, exactly as she said. I thought we were gonna have to explain all that, but I was like, oh, okay, VP, you just go ahead and do that for us. Thank you very much.
Exactly. Exactly. And we can spend all our time just making sure that folks know how to share with other people. And that's what we're here to do. This has been amazing. I just want to say, if we have learned nothing else from this call, what we have learned is that women united together, sisters united together, as you said, get shit done. Joteka, here we are again. We're always getting things done. And now we have our new sister, Katie, to join us. What's next? We got to plan something else. This can't be the end.
This cannot be the end. I think this is only the beginning because, you know, when sisters come together, it's something special. But, you know, one thing, if I could just get one little moment, Sister Holly, because, you know, the chat is a very special place where we all get on. And, you know, we have to do the ceremonial. I know many of you represent many organizations. I've already seen some of the colors in the chat. But if you have an organization that you represent, please show that organization's colors and give us those hearts and tell us where you're from so that we can show love and show that our united sisterhood across this entire country. This is so beautiful. And I think it goes without saying often, you know, we often ask the question, who's going to come save us? Who's going to come save us? Well, sisters, we are the cavalry. We are indeed the ones that we are waiting for. And we know that when we're united, we are absolutely powerful.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. And that's it. That's what we're here for. That's what we've done. We did it. We got it done. We had an amazing group of women who've joined us. I know they cannot wait to get to work. So we want to let them get to work, start tonight, then wake up in the morning and do it again, and then wake up in the morning and do it one more time. And I know that's not going to be enough. So Monday and Tuesday, 2 more times to get it done, because when we wake up Wednesday, we're going to know that we have put people on the Pennsylvania Supreme Court that are going to protect our rights and freedoms. We're going to know that in Ohio, our reproductive rights, all of our reproductive rights are going to be constitutionally protected. We're going to know that in Virginia, the bastion of the South is going to make sure that we have put together a Senate majority that's going to protect us against extremists like Governor Youngkin. We're going to know that in New Jersey, we have protected the majority that we have there so we can keep our rights in place. We're going to know in all across the South and in cities across America where you are voting for mayors and city council and county council, and don't forget your school boards.
Don't forget
because
the school
we
board.
want to make sure that our rights are in place up and down the line, and we're ready to go.
Holly, well, Holly Holiday is a masterful strategist. She's an amazing strategist. She is, a fierce leader who leads Sisters Vote in so many organizations. But Katie, I think we probably going to need to add the Reverend tonight, because Holly is preaching tonight. So she's got her wine and she's preaching too. So, she might just be making water in the wine.
Look, wherever Holly goes, I will follow.
Oh.
I'm on board. Doing this together has been so much fun. I can't wait to see what we do next. We have so much work to do ahead, and the confidence I have in us accomplishing just moving mountains together is huge. So I'm just so grateful. I feel the love flowing through this chat. I know that we have a community behind us.
From
yeah,
all
absolutely.
over the country, and it's just powerful to see. We see you all out there.
That's right. That's right. So thank you everyone for being with us tonight. We met our plan by ending at 6:45 so that we could give you the time to go rally, to clap back, to do all these things. So don't go, look, I know I've got to go tend to my kids and all that, but I'm going to hide here for a few more minutes so I can rally a few more voters before I do that. So I invite you to do that with me. Invite your friends to do it alongside with you too. We only have just a few days until Tuesday left. So do all you can. You have got to make sure everyone you know votes and every stranger you meet votes. This is a way to make friends. Let's grow this community of friendship together, because when sisters unite, we take back our rights. I'm so glad to be with you all here tonight. So thank you, and y'all have a great night.
Good night.